Hello, this month's loosening practice is to move through the whole body in a way that both connects us to its movements through the centre and helps us to relieve any tension that we tend to hold in the fascia, into connective tissue, that we can then take into the way we move, the way we live, and ultimately our sleep quality. So it's a really good practice to do any time in the day as a moving meditation. So it's particularly good if you tend to feel anxiety and feel that sitting or lying is too static, too locked in. And it also helps to keep us moving in the fascia throughout the day, so that when we come to sleep at night, we are able to self-soothe, we are able to release tension and drift into a quality of sleep much easier. So we're going to do this standing, feet hip width apart. You don't need to be on a mat, you can do this absolutely anywhere. Outside in the garden is my preference, not so good for filming, I'm afraid. And we're going to start just by padding out into the feet, really finding your ground. So before we actually start to come to the movement, we'll just do a little loosening in the hips. So we're just keying into this area of our belly, area that reaches us up from the ground through the insteps, through the core, and then circle in the other direction, feeling out our relationship with the ground. And then just have a little swing around of the arms, so just loosening tissues around spiral lines of the body, around the lower back. And have that real sense as well as moving around your axis, your central axis. And just letting the arms swing, so you're moving around the centre and the arms are being moved. You're not lifting them, but just letting centrifugal outward force carry them. Lovely. And then coming to stand, knees a little bent, going to bring our hands to the front of our belly. And starting to breathe in. So essentially we're completing a circle around the shape of the pelvis to meet that completed circle in a shape at the front. And feeling with our hands there's real palpable space that we can feel between our belly and our hands. Here we're dropping into the hara. This is in Taoism, the seat of intention, and in yoga, again we feel the seat of intuition, intention rising up from here. So it really helps us to drop into our sense of self. Now from there, rising up to the heart. So we're keeping nice and open on the inside skin of the body, inside of the elbows, across the collarbones, through to the palms, space between the fingers. Softening the shoulders to be able to feel that space of compassion, heart space in front of you. From there we're going to open the arms up. So this is where we open out into the world, meet our vulnerability, meet our connection with the world. That helps us to be vulnerable. Maybe let go of some of that outer guard, be able to drop into our true responses, true reflections. And then moving up to the space around us, that potential to lift to the sky, to open up right from the ground up to our very potential at the top. And then we're going to follow that down, bringing your hands behind your head. So we're not touching, but reaching that space behind us, that protective space, base of the skull. Bringing it over, down the centre, through the heart, past the hara, all the way around, just to take in the lower back. And from there, diving down, knees bending towards the ground. Tracking a line around the legs. So backs of the hands together to come up through the midline, back to that beginning point. And we're going to follow that motion. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see it from the side. You don't need to turn, but just so that you can follow each of these points. And you can hold and stay at any of these points, up to the heart, out to the side, above the head. So you can follow the same pathway as me, same movement pattern as me, or at any time you just go your own pace, or you just hold in one position and let yourself start following what the space around your body is just letting you know is right for this time. Letting your breath flow, shoulders soft, particularly as you're lifting up the arms. So you might find your breath pattern, the one that sits well, congruently alongside the movements of your tissues, differs from mine. So it might be that you go off on your own journey, and if you feel you lose your way, you might drift off, lose the pattern, just come back to where I am and you can pick up from there. Feeling out through your space. There's a sense here that we are creating an imprint of our body where our sense of space meets the outer world. We don't just stop at the skin, but our sensory capacity reaches out around us. So we're just noticing here our relationship with the inside and the outside. I very often do this practice as a beginning meditation for a yoga practice. Include all parts of the body, all the patterns of the breath as they describe the body. The real sense that when we move, particularly maybe into different parts of our body, that we are not segmenting ourselves. All parts are actually involved. It might just be that we're focusing on one at a time to be able to bring them all back together again. The next time you come up, hands in front of your belly, settling there. Let your knees soften, let it feel like your buttocks melt to the ground. And just closing your eyes to connect into your centre. Gently start to release yourself out, releasing your hands, releasing your feet. And you can either move on to Another practice from there, or just take your time to come back into the world. That's it.